I wanted to make a cute little Christmas video tonight. You know, I've been kind of in the Christmas spirit lately. It's been a couple of years since I made a Christmas video. I was in the mood, and something happened to me on my way home tonight that changed the nature of this video. I was driving in the dark. It's been raining here recently. I was driving on this kind of backcountry road, going, to be honest with you, way too fast. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's this giant puddle. And I didn't even have time to tap my brakes. I hit this puddle going, 65 miles an hour on a bumpy back road, and my vehicle started to hydroplane. And luckily, I've hydroplaned my vehicle before. I kind of knew what to do, but I came that close to losing control, rolling my vehicle, and possibly smashing myself, into a tree and dying tonight. And for some reason, rather than being really nervous and the adrenaline pumping and really hyper aware of everything I was doing on the rest of my drive home, I had this epiphany. I had this epiphany about, of all things, a video that I've been trying to make for literally 3 years. And, the question that I get asked the most often on my channel, if you look at my front page, my channel comments, it's always, Paul, make more videos. Why don't you make more videos? More videos, more. And this is the major reason why I don't make more videos. Because I've had this video lodged inside of me for like 3 years, and it's just stymied me. Every time I sit down to make this video, what comes out of me, if anything at all, is I'm so critical of it that I can't bring myself to upload it. And that is so contrary to what every other video that I've ever made has been. 99% of the time, I see something that pisses me off. I see something that I find amusing. I sit down in front of my webcam. I blah, blah, blah. Whatever comes out of me, comes out of me. I upload it to YouTube. The subscribers are happy. I'm happy. This video, for whatever reason, I've been so concerned with how this video would be perceived. And I came to realize tonight that I've got to let that go. That the problem is that I've been trying to make this video for you. And I'm not trying to insult anybody with that. I'm not saying you're not worthy of a video. But this is a rare video that I need to make 100% for myself. This is something that I have to get out of me, despite my fears that it's going to be trite or a retreading of shit that people are shouting on the internet every day, or just another fat, lazy white guy with a webcam mentally masturbating and beating a dead horse while not doing anything about the problems that he's bitching about. I've got to let all that go. I just have to get this out of me. I have to say it. And I have to say it in this weird semi-public arena of YouTube, because I need it to be there for posterity. I need to know that this is out there. I need to know that one other person heard me say this so that I can be free of it. Growing up in the little town that I grew up in, this kind of little farming community that's half really hardcore redneck and half Mexicans, I've had to, and then growing up into a 30-year-old man that likes to think of himself as a free thinker, I've had to slaughter a lot of sacred cows along the journey from little toe-headed redneck boy to 30-year-old man who's kind of a free thinker. I've had to slaughter a lot of sacred cows, and by far, the hardest sacred cow for me to chain down to the altar and lop the head off of is this one. It has to do with me being lied to as a child, and I'll give you a little insight into this. If you grew up in the United States and went to a public school, you were lied to too. One of the first things that I remember learning in school, and I have a pretty good memory of my childhood. I'm lucky with that. I have a lot of really clear, vivid memories of my childhood. And one of the first concepts I remember bringing home from kindergarten was that America was a superior nation. We had the best people. We had the most freedom. We had the best and brightest scientists. We had the best military. We had more access to healthcare and education than anybody else in the world. Everybody else in the world was climbing over themselves for the privilege to call themselves an American. America was the land of the free and the home of the brave. One of the first things I learned in kindergarten, was it the alphabet? No, it was the flag salute. And I remember feeling weird about it. I remember thinking how weird this is, that we're learning this weird little poem, and we're holding our hands over our hearts, and we're talking to this piece of cloth. But all those concerns were quickly driven out of me. Okay, this idea was just spiked into my skull as a child, and it holds on. Up until this moment right now, it holds on to me. And it seems like I know to some people it probably seems like a silly thing, but I have not been able to let that go. Every time that I open my mouth critically with regards to this country. Every time I feel like I want to criticize this country, there's this little niggling voice in the back of my head that says, how dare you, Paul? Do you know how fat and fucking lazy you are? You know how privileged you are? You know how awash in luxury that you are compared to 99% of the fucking world? Do you know you could have been a Somalian? You could have been born in Liberia where 90% of girls are raped before their 12th birthday and 90% of men at some point in their lives will have a limb hacked off and sold on a fucking meat cart in a slum. Do you have any idea how fucking privileged you are? How dare you criticize this country? How dare you sit there in your life of abject luxury and criticize this fucking great country? How dare you? But you know what? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm done carrying the water for this fucking country. I'm done. I can't carry the torch anymore. I cannot carry the torch anymore for this country. America is not the land of the free, nor is it the home of the brave. It is neither of those things at this point in history. Okay? America is a country of fucking cowards. Show me one instance of real bravery in this fucking country. And before you do it, don't throw the troops at me. Please spare me the fucking troops. If I hear one more person co-opt the fucking troops, I'm literally going to vomit right here on my webcam. I'm going to puke and you're going to have to watch it. Don't co-opt the fucking troops. I'm not talking about the troops. I'm talking about the 99% of Americans in this country that shit themselves with fear if a brown person gets onto the bus with them. Or they have to ride in a plane with somebody wearing a turban. I'm talking about the 99% of people in this country that are willing to submit themselves to a digital strip search as a prerequisite to travel in this country. Can you believe that shit's going on? And don't start with me, Paul. It's not a strip search. It's an X-ray. It's a backscatter X-ray machine. No, motherfucker. No, it's a strip search machine. Okay, you want to go through a fucking machine and allow some TSA fuckwad to oogle your fucking Johnson and your balls and your taint and your butt crack? You want your wife going through one of those fucking things? Your little girl, your grandma, your mom? I don't. Americans line up around the fucking block to submit themselves to this shit. Where's the outrage? Well, there's been a little bit of outrage. Barely registers on the fucking radar, barely worth mentioning. Barely fucking worth mentioning. America is a country of aggressively ignorant fucking cowards. People that are just willing to hand over their fucking civil liberties, lock, stock, and barrel, without even asking a fucking question. Without even taking the time to inform themselves. They're so stupid and so deluded and so caught in the quagmire that is their empty fucking infotainment-filled lives that they just line up for somebody to tell them how they should feel. Please, Glenn Beck. Please, Keith Olbermann. Please tell me how I'm supposed to feel so I don't have to pick up a fucking newspaper or search the fucking internet. So I don't have to make my own mind up so I can continue to be stupid. Do you realize that Americans, I'm talking to you, do you realize that in this country, being stupid is no longer considered to be a detriment? Being stupid is considered to be a virtue in this fucking country. We reward the stupid in this country. That's exactly the opposite thing that we should do. Stupid people in this country should be fucking encouraged to not be stupid. There should be social pressure on people that are willfully fucking ignorant to not be stupid, and instead we reward people. We reward stupidity in this country. We reward people with multi-million-dollar TV contracts so that all the other stupid people can sit around and watch how stupid these people are. Stupidity is a virtue in this country. I can't stand it. I can't stand it anymore. This is one of the hardest things that I've ever had to say, and I know how cliche this fucking sounds. I can't believe it's going to come out of my mouth, but I have to be fucking honest with myself. Before I go on, I don't have any illusions of utopia. I don't have any illusions that America could somehow be this perfect place. I realized long ago that there were a lot of problems in America in need of fixing. Okay? But what I do see in America is potential. I see the potential of this place. And when I see the potential and what America actually is, it breaks my fucking heart. It breaks my fucking heart to see a place like this that has so much fucking potential wasted. Absolutely fucking wasted by its citizens. It breaks my fucking heart. I am ashamed to be an American. My being an American is a source of shame for me. I take no pride in this country. And I don't mean to denigrate people that actually work to try and make life better for people. I don't mean to denigrate people that donate their time, donate their money, work actively to try and improve conditions for people in this country. But let's be honest with ourselves. While we're keeping it real here, folks, let's be honest with ourselves. Those people are a small fucking minority. For every one person that gives of themselves, there are at least 100 fucking drooling retards. You know it and I know it, so let's be honest. I'm ashamed to live in this country. I'm ashamed to be an American. It's a source of shame for me. I'm disgusted when I turn on the TV. I'm disgusted when I look at the news. Let's talk about something that's in the news really quick. Something that people's fucking, even people that would consider themselves to be enlightened, their views are so fucking skewed on this. Let's look at WikiLeaks. I know, great, another WikiLeaks mention in a YouTube video. I haven't seen fucking 16 of these this week. Fuck. Let's look at WikiLeaks. I see so much rank hero worship going on with regards to Julian Assange. Now, I'm not trying to denigrate what he does. I think that WikiLeaks is important. I think that Julian Assange is important. I'm thankful that he does what he does, but I see so many people hyper-focused. Oh, Julian Assange has been locked up, await a pending bail in the West Chesterfordshire jail. Meanwhile, the young man who actually allegedly leaked this shit, the young man who, if you read his email, the transcripts of the emails that he wrote back and forth to the person he leaked this to, sounds like the very essence of a fucking whistleblower to me. Sounds like somebody who saw something that his country was doing, who saw, in fact, so many things that his country was doing that he couldn't stand to sit on that secret for the rest of his life. He couldn't stand the fact that this type of shit was going on behind people's backs. He knew he had to do something. That kid, Bradley Manning, has been sitting in a fucking 24-hour lockdown, solitary confinement cell in Quantico, Virginia for 8 fucking months, and I barely hear his name mentioned on the fucking news. I barely hear anybody give a fuck about this kid. In fact, a lot of people want to see him lynched. A lot of people want to see this kid who saw the disgusting bullshit that goes on behind the scenes right under Americans' noses that Americans are too stupid and fucking deluded to see. He wanted to give them the opportunity to see that shit, and they want to hang him for it. Or in my mind, almost even worse, they want to focus all their attention on Julian Assange, who's a mouthpiece. You know what? WikiLeaks is great, but WikiLeaks is missing one critical component. You've got to have access to information, and you've got to have an informed public who knows how to process information. And one of those things, I'll let you guess which one, is conspicuously absent in this country. I'm sick to death of this fucking country. I'm sick to death. I'm heartsick. I'm heartsick. I'm ashamed. And you know what? If you're an American, you should be fucking ashamed too. You should be ashamed. You should be ashamed of the country that you live in. Oh, and a Merry Christmas.